Hi everyone, this is Kyla Hamaro, and today we are going to explore the four major types of market structure, ranging from perfect competition, monopolistic competition, monopoly, and oligopoly. Before we proceed, let us know what is our objective for this video. First, it is to define each type of market structure. Second, to differentiate this type of market structure from each other. And lastly, to give examples of each type of market structure. Let's first take a look at perfect competition. What is a perfect competition? Well, a perfect competition, it is a market structure characterized by homogeneous products in which there are many sellers and there are many buyers that none has an influence to price. Based on our definition, we can say that a perfect competition has the characteristics of the following. First, there are many buyers and sellers. Second, all sellers selling the same product. And third, it is easy for sellers to come and go. Now that we already know the definition of perfect competition, I want you guys to give me an example for this type of market structure. Do you guys already have one? If not, I can give you two. First, first is the public market. As what we can observe in our public market or in our junket, there are a lot of vendors that sell the same product like fruits, vegetables, and meats, and there are also many buyers. Aside from this, buyers can also switch between vendors because prices are usually uniform. The second one is street food vendors. As what you guys know, there are a lot of street food vendors who sell the same product. Kwek-kwek, tempura, pastil, balut, and many more. And they also have the same lot of buyers, just like what we see in Boulevard. So it is a perfect competition because there are a lot of buyers and there are a lot of sellers. They sell the same product and no one has a significant influence on price. The second one is monopolistic competition. We can define monopolistic competition as a market structure in which many firms sell the same products or services that are similar but not identical, or there is still a distinction from each other. So sellers here sell heterogeneous products and well-differentiated products, giving them some control over prices. So in other words, in a monopolistic competition, firms differentiate their products through packaging, branding, design, and features that makes them stand out. An example of this is iPhone and Samsung, two of the largest smartphone manufacturers in the world, and a perfect example of a monopolistic competition. iPhone and Samsung both exhibit characteristics of monopolistic competition by differentiating their products through unique features, design, and operating system, such as iPhone's Face ID and Samsung's Infinity Display. They engage in competition through advertising product design and features, while also competing on price. Another one is Coca-Cola and Pepsi. While there are many beverages companies, Coca-Cola and Pepsi are two of the largest and most well-known players in the market. These two also exhibit characteristics of monopolistic competition through unique formulas, branding, and packaging. Now, let's move on to our third type of market structure, the monopoly. What is a monopoly? A monopoly is a type of market structure in which there is a single seller that controls or dominates the trade of a particular good or services, in which buyers can find no close substitutes. In other words, in a monopoly, there is a single entity, which can be a person, a firm, or a government, that controls the entire production of a particular goods or services. The absence of competition allowed them to influence the price. An example of this is water here in Sibulan, which is Siwat, or Sibulan Water District. They are an example of monopoly because they were only the sole provider of water here in our municipality. Another one is the provider of electricity in Manila and Manila or Metro Manila area and the surrounding provinces, which is Meralco. Now, let's move on to the last type of market structure, The oligopoly. So, oligopoly is a type of market structure in which there is only a few sellers that offer similar products. In other words, oligopoly is a type of imperfect competition in which there is a few large businesses that dominates the market. And there is a reason for this type of market structure, one of which is the high cost of starting this business, which leads itself to fewer large businesses. So, an example for this is the airline industry here in our country. In the Philippines, there is only three: Cebu Pacific, Philippine Airlines, and Air Asia. The second one is the petroleum industry. This kind of industry is hard for sellers to enter due to its high startup costs. Here in our country, we only have a few sellers in this kind of industry. We have the Shell, Caltex, Petron. Now, let's differentiate the types of market structure from each other. In terms of number of competitors, we can see that in pure perfect competition, there are many sellers, while in monopolistic competition, there are few to many. In monopoly, there is no direct competitors, while in oligopoly, there is only a few number of competitors. In terms of ease of entry into industry by new firms, in pure perfect competition, it is easy. In monopolistic competition, it is somewhat difficult, while in monopoly, it is regulated by the government. In oligopoly, it is very difficult. And in terms of similarity of products offered by competing firms, in perfect competition, it is similar. In monopolistic, it is different. In monopoly, there is no direct competing of goods or services, while in oligopoly, it can be either similar or different. In terms of control over price by individual firms, in perfect competition, there is none. In monopolistic competition, some. In monopoly, it is considerable, while in oligopoly, it is also some.